Federal immigration officials said they conducted an operation targeting members of a Venezuelan gang in the Denver area on Wednesday, but they didn't immediately say how many gang members were arrested. According to Associated Press in a post on X, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement said more than 100 members of Tren de Aragua were targeted for arrest and detention in Aurora, a Denver suburb where gang activity drew the attention of President Donald Trump during last year's campaign. Operations were also seen elsewhere in the Denver area. In a video posted along with a statement on the operation, an unidentified ICE officer said ICE and other federal law enforcement agencies were conducting an at-large enforcement operation looking for members of the gang. Immigration officers raided a large apartment complex in southeast Denver early Wednesday morning, going door to door and asking residents for identification. It started with a message in our tenant chat group. "I got a message from my neighbor saying that cops were going from door to door," said Hannah Stickline, who lives at the Cedar Run Apartments. "And then we figured out it was ICE. And about 5 minutes later, I got a knock on my own door. About 6 armed, heavily armed officers demanding an ID." Stickline said she was very scared and heartbroken by the raid, adding that many of the people who live in the apartment complex are families. The nearby suburb of Aurora was thrust into the national spotlight last year when armed men from the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua were seen entering an apartment on a widely circulated video. A man was shot to death outside the apartment complex about 10 minutes after the video was taken. The campaign of then-candidate Donald Trump seized on the violence to claim immigrants had turned Aurora into a war zone. Trump announced a plan to target migrant gangs nationally, calling it Operation Aurora, during an October campaign visit to the 400,000-person city just east of Denver.
Well, it started with a message in our tenant chat group. I got a message from my neighbor saying that cops were going from door to door, and then we figured out it was ICE, and about 5 minutes later I got a knock on my own door, about 6 armed, heavily armed officers demanding an ID.
This is the law. You get a warrant. You do not show up how you showed up today and try to meet a quota.
We're very scared. We're heartbroken. It's a very sad thing to see. And it's also very scary to see all of this surrounding your home.
Literally walking around with their social security cards because I don't trust them.
I was in my home. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. I answered the door. They said, "We need an ID." Like, okay, what for? Clearly, I'm not what you're looking for. And then I gave them an ID so they would move on, and they asked me to tattle on my neighbors, which I didn't do. It's insulting and infuriating because I would never snitch on my neighbors. They're mostly families. That's it. I mean, they're families. They work, they come home, they have kids who play. Like, it gets a little loud and rowdy at some point, but they're just people.
They think they can go door to door, building to building, block to block. They think they can make us be silent. Stand up, fight back. Stand up, fight back. Stand up, fight back.
They are coming illegal to my house. They should have warrant papers, and they don't have it. They don't have anything. We are human here, like we are refugee, not from our countries. We from God. We are refugee in this world. we should support each other. We should just stuck together. The dictatorship, especially like Trump demonstration, is a dictator right now. What he's doing is unfair. It's hunting the human being in the world. It's unfair for me.
You have the right to an attorney. Don't sign anything. No firmes nada. Tienes de...
Students from several schools in the Los Angeles area walked out of class and protested in front of the city courthouse. According to Associated Press, the student-led demonstration took place days after another group of protesters shut down a major highway in response to the Trump administration's mass deportation policy. Marchers carried Mexican and American flags, and speakers expressed outrage about the rhetoric from Trump and his administration's moves to increase deportations. Cities like Phoenix, Dallas, and Asheville, North Carolina, have seen similar demonstrations as people voiced their opposition to President Donald Trump's mass deportation plans.